My motto is expansion, always in all ways.
New York City is the most exciting city for real estate, and that's why I'm here.
I'm the closer and the listing machine. What makes me better is that I work harder than anyone else.
Whee! We're friends now, right? I don't need him, and you don't either.
This will never end.
3, 2, 1.
This is the Mac Media Show.
Welcome to the Mac Media Show, everyone. My name is Mac.
And I'm Ree.
And this is the Me and Ree Review Show. We are the two that review for you.
Yes, we are.
America.
Yes, we are.
We have 2 episodes to review this week, and we're going to start with episode 2 of the season.
Yes.
And we're going to be reviewing episode 2 and 3. We talked to a lot of people on Twitter about it and got the feeling from 2 and 3. We're going to talk about both. We're going to start with 2. We had a lot happen since we last did an episode. And I'll just run through what happened in the past 2 weeks. We saw Frederick lose a deal. One of the first times we've ever seen one of the brokers on $1 Million Listing New York lose a deal of that size.
Yeah.
He was working on the Time Warner building, is that right?
Yes. $35 million?
$35 million. Cheryl
Yes.
sends him a letter.
Dog.
Huh?
With her dog, Louis Vuitton.
Oh, Louis, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And sends him a letter written from an attorney.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Serious, meaning business. Totally just did away with him. And we'll get into that. I want to talk about that. And we figured out that they're going to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick and Derek are having a child.
Mm-hmm.
And looking here through my pictures, Luis got the Joneses property.
He did.
Which I loved.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I want to talk about the property because I really like that property.
Yes.
We met Ryan's new assistant, RD.
Yes.
Who I liked. And Ryan got an offer and did a deal for the Chinese. Can't remember her name. What was her name?
Catherine.
Mm-hmm. She was tough. Very tough. And we're going to talk about that too.
She was.
So we're going to run through that episode real quick. And then, of course, last night. What did we see last night?
It was good last night. Oh, we've got Ryan and Frederick working together.
Yeah, I enjoyed
co-listing.
that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Luis met a girl.
He did, but, yeah, I don't think that was much.
Wasn't much, huh?
He didn't seem to. He said, I think you need to go home and I'll go home.
He had a breakdown with Renita. Says we need to get more help.
Yes.
What do you think? We'll talk about all that, too.
Yeah.
So we'll start with last week's episode. What do you want to talk about first?
I thought it was interesting that it starts off with Frederick meeting with Cheryl and her dog. And, you know, that he had told her all along that, you know, it was worth only a certain amount. And she fought him on it, like a lot of sellers do.
Mm-hmm.
But he had kind of proven it to her. And he still, I think they were at lunch, and he still, I think they left the lunch kind of waiting to see what was going to happen, didn't they? Mm-hmm. He was wanting to lower it. I thought they had come to some decision about lowering it, but maybe not. Maybe I'm not remembering that right. But then it was kind of odd that he just got this letter from the lawyer instead of her calling and saying, you know, I want to dissolve this contract.
Mm-hmm.
But we did see a side of him that was, it was good to see. He's human. He's human.
He was. He said, I don't want to be human. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right. But he is. And he has failures.
Speaking of that, he posted an Instagram. That was point on. You didn't even see the Instagram post.
No, I didn't.
He says in his Instagram post last week following the episode, this was so insightful. And I love these Instagram posts and the Twitter posts, behind the scenes stuff, because you learn about how the show's produced. You learn about what's real and what's not. And so this whole situation with Cheryl was very real. And he says on Instagram with a picture, he has a picture of he and Cheryl standing behind a nice car. He says, I don't want to be human, but I am, and I'm going to be a father. I can finally talk about it. So here I am with Cheryl at Time Warner today, and this was a week ago he posted this. He says, here I am with Cheryl today, 6 months after I was terminated from the listing. She called last week And this would be 6 months. A week ago would be 6 months after he lost the listing. She called last week as she saw the trailers for the show and asked me to come back, adding me back on the listing, which hasn't sold, and gone from $35 million to the reduced $28 million with other brokers.
Really?
2 great brokers, Gilead and Elliott. Mm-hmm. But even greater with me back on, $28 million was the price I advised her the first time we met. Right. So it was a very difficult episode for me, not even to watch tonight, because as we were filming it, I had to allow myself to completely lose on national television, big time. Sometimes I hear people say our show is scripted, and it isn't. Once and for all, it's real. You can say whatever you want about me, my eccentricities, quirkiness, faces, and expressions, but I'm real. As you saw tonight, I sometimes wish the show was scripted, because God knows it would be easier to show up to a set with a script instead to your own listing, which you are publicly terminated from. But no one tells us what to do or say, and certainly, as you understand, I wouldn't lose a $35 million listing nor a $1 million plus commission if I had a choice, but I did, and I lost it hard. The producers told me to trust the process, to allow myself to fail because we all fail, so I did and grew from it. I'm very thankful for the experience. Now to people you love like Derek, helping you put things in perspective is what it's all about. Anyways, and then he goes in to talk about the daughter, and he wanted a daughter named Mila, and he's proud to say, and what was the big deal, because Derek said, what's the big deal? So he's back on Time Warner, which I thought was interesting, and he says, I'm proud to never say anything bad about any clients because I try to see the good in them and their perspective too, even when I lose them. That's right. So I'm very happy to have her back. So you just think about, what if he had taken the lowball approach, trashed her on the show for doing that, and she, oh man, could you imagine?
That's why you never do that.
He put it on himself. You know, when he got the letter, he said, "What? It's me. What if I must not have communicated it well enough? And if I can't do that, I have problems." Well, and
the price has a lot to do with it too, and she wouldn't come off the high price.
That's all it was.
He can't sell something that's ridiculous.
Right.
So, it's interesting to me. I think she's smart. She came back. She saw the trailer, and she came back because it's going to get her exposure. Mm-hmm. She came to her senses about dropping it, and now she's getting exposure on national television for it. So she was smart too.
Oh yeah.
He'll still make the big commission, so
yeah, he'll be just fine. But I thought that was so interesting. For the first time, we saw somebody lose a major listing.
Yeah, it was.
Especially, the letter from the attorney.
Yeah, that was.
So that was really interesting, and I'm glad they included that.
Yeah, it was good.
We're moving on from that subject. Mm-hmm. The Joneses. Cool people. Mm-hmm. Jones is a doctor. He's on Twitter. Mm-hmm. He was tweeting Luis and behind-the-scenes stuff on his Twitter, and I won't read it all. I won't read any of it. But anyways, I thought it was cool. He's Dr. Jones on Twitter or something like that.
Is he a plastic surgeon?
Yeah. Sure is. Yeah. And they've got this very nice, I love this house, traditional, in the middle, or not the middle of New York, but in Manhattan.
It's called Hamilton Heights.
Well, it's not in Manhattan, but it's in the New York City area.
I thought it was in the Harlem area.
Yeah, it's in the city, though,
yeah,
still.
It's in the Harlem
right
area.
outside
yeah,
the
where
city.
They're updating everything. Yeah.
Great property. Yeah,
it's just funny to me listening to Luis talking about property that is further down the block than 125th Street. Tends to go down in value. People don't want it because it's so far from the city. You can't walk, I guess, into the city. I'm not exactly sure what the reason was, but he was saying he couldn't ask as much as he wanted to because it was too far north. But he did do some good things with it. The open house was great. I thought it was a good idea.
I thought it was cool. I was excited for the jazz theme.
Yeah,
nobody
was really
showed
good.
up. And it started. Did it start to rain? I can't remember.
A little bit, yeah. I think.
Anyways,
so, yeah.
Nobody showed up, and he said it was because it's hard to get somebody down in that area for that price. It's the highest price listing in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's always a hard sell to make. But anyways, I thought it was a cool property, and and there was something I wanted to say about it, but I can't remember. Well, I don't know.
You drawing a blank?
Lost the thought there. Anyways, I thought it was a cool property.
It was. And, it's really nice, and it's 5 floors. It's hand-carved wood. They got 10 bedrooms. I've never seen such a place. And they did say that this was a second home for them. They had not really been there in 5 years.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
That's why they were getting rid of it. But that was a gorgeous place. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then Ryan got some property this week, didn't he? Is this the one from Catherine, I believe? And they listed it.
Yeah. We'll run through that. Yeah.
Were they asking 5.5?
Yeah, he had to do a kid theme.
Oh, that was the one that had the kind of odd layout.
It did.
When people would come in, they would say, well, it's kind of odd. It's kind of choppy.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he had a tough time doing that one. And there was a thing about a baby, wasn't it, that Catherine had a grandchild or something, or she talked to him about a baby, or
she said a nice family would love this place or whatever. So she wanted to see Ryan market it toward a family.
That's right.
And that's what he did. You know, he had a kid singer come in and he, you know, all that. And
oh yeah, he had that party, the kid-friendly party.
I'm not totally into all that kind of open house theme party.
Yeah.
I mean,
of course, they did have like a child's little band and a.
I just don't know how effective it is.
I don't either, because they're coming not necessarily looking at property.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea of an open house themed party is to generate excitement and build up, you know, to the party, anticipation, invitation, exclusivity, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, doing a family friendly themed party doesn't do that. So I don't know how effective it is unless you have a list of, you know, people interested, you know, brokers that work with families all the time, which maybe he did. I don't know. But anyways,
Catherine wanted what, 4.9 for it, and ended up at the end of the episode getting 4.5.
He had convinced her to 4.5, and she didn't want to do that originally, but
and it ended up, you know. That's one thing that's interesting watching these realtors when they go in there and they say, oh, you know, this is only worth $600 a square foot or whatever it is, and then they want to price it at $1,500 a square foot.
Yeah,
they just don't think. I mean, when you look at the comps, they think they're going to be the only one, or the magic one that's going to get that person that walks in and says, yes, I want to overpay for this property.
Right.
Please hand it to me.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, as we found out later, a lot of offers that are over the price, the people aren't qualified to begin with. So, you know, it's one of those typical cliches when it looks too good to be true. It normally is. So that was interesting to me, watching. I enjoy that, you know, every week watching them try to tell the seller, bring them back down to reality where they can sell it. But I guess in on the seller's behalf, you have to say, okay, well, they think the most of their property. Every seller does. And they don't tend to want to see the flaws. So I guess they're thinking in their head, if we price it high, we can always come down. But I noticed that Frederick said something I always noticed when I was selling real estate was the first 2 weeks are crucial. When you put it on the market, it's a new listing. It's fresh blood. People get out there, they want to see it. Because if a realtor's been working with somebody for weeks and weeks and weeks, and this new property comes on and it's great, it's going to go fast. After about 2 weeks, it begins to get, oh, we saw that. Oh, you remember it had this problem, that problem, whatever. So it's interesting from my perspective to watch them too. But anyway.
Yeah, and I love the luxury, and it's probably interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. But
we can go ahead and blend the 2 episodes now, because we're going to talk about Frederick and Derek, you know, having a kid, and that kind of blends with last night's episode. Found out they're looking for a donor.
Surrogate.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess it would be a donor.
Yeah.
Foot. I don't know. I'm not real clear on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it would. That's what it would be.
She wouldn't carry the baby though.
I don't know.
Well, they went to dinner.
I don't think so.
With Amelia and Ryan.
I can't tell if that was serious or not.
I think it was serious.
Of course, they acted serious.
They acted like, and I think I understand what he meant. The person that's gonna donate the egg or whatever it is, they want that person to be a part of this child's life, not hands-on, but they would like for that child to know that person. And if they were going to be friends, you know, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I see now that you're explaining it that way, and that's what Derek said initially. What I was just feeling is what Derek was feeling, and then Frederick explained that to Derek, and Derek was like, okay, I kind of maybe see you're not totally
she's really
crazy.
Nice. She's a nice person.
Yeah, and
she would be nice around the girl or the boy child.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, but I don't know what Ryan's going to think about that. You know, that's kind of the odd part, but because part of Amelia will be
Right.
with Frederick.
Oh, man.
That would be an odd
know if Ryan can do that.
connection. No.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was interesting watching that. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, man.
That was kind of odd.
I'll tell you.
But I'm not in that world anyway, so I don't really understand all this donor, stuff. I'm not.
Well, do you think it's the right time for them to do this?
You talking about Frederick and Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I think that
They shouldn't wait any later.
no, and they'll probably have a nanny,
Yeah.
come in and do everything so they can both keep their careers and both continue to do. Mm-hmm. And they have flexible schedules, both of them, so they can afford to take off.
I don't think it's a major deal for me. Like the obviously that's a big storyline in the show, like they're following, and I don't care that much about it. I'm not very interested in
having children.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, their whole process and figuring that out, and I don't know. It's kind of a subline to me. I don't care as much about that as I do the rest of the show for some reason. I don't know if that's how you feel.
Well, it's just part of Frederick's life. I guess
Yeah.
they're bringing in the personal part, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing right now. And I guess they're bringing it up now because, in 8 months, he'll have a baby sitting there, and then all of a sudden we go, what? Where'd the baby come from?
Yeah.
So they're bringing that into the storyline.
Well, they have to, but
So it's part of his life.
there have been better things. Like when they got married, I enjoyed when they got married because you got to see the island, buying the whole island for, however long
Yeah.
they did. And that was
Yeah.
interesting because it's something you don't get. Yeah, but this is kind of. Anyways, that's all right. I'm not downing on it. We had a continuation of Luis and the Joneses this week, and they started off with 3 different offers.
yeah.
This is interesting. He had a 3-5-1 offer come in, which was over listing.
What was the listing? 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
I mean, gee.
And it sounds like one of those Craigslist scams that say, I'll pay you extra if you can.
Exactly.
But in my mind, I kind of understand that level. With that money, maybe they really loved the house and they just wanted to make sure. So in my head, I didn't immediately think scam right when I heard that. And Luis didn't either because he got all excited and he let the Joneses know that there was 351. They said, we'll take it. And I don't know how long it was before he found out, how many days before he found out that the finances were not there. They would not be getting the loan for the 351, and the buyers would no longer be buying the house. And so after you've told the Joneses that property sold, here's the offer, here's what you're getting, they've already celebrated, how do you tell them? Because immediately they're going to blame you. And they're friends. The Joneses are friends with Louise. So that's going to put pressure on the relationship just by you making a mistake. And I think it was Luis's mistake not to have checked that before. I mean, it looks like there could be a process that he could have done to confirm that the funds were there before he let the Joneses know. I mean, come on.
But it was not his client.
I know.
See, I went back when I first thought about that when I saw him sitting with them.
But still.
And I thought, oh, this is going to be hard to tell them. But when I thought about it, it was not Luis's problem. See, Luis took the contract from another realtor. That realtor made a mistake.
Well, it's
and
his
not
problem.
checking them out or whatever.
Sure.
Luis was going by the fact that the other realtor had vetted these people financially before they even showed them the property. You do that with this level.
And there's no way to confirm.
So he didn't do anything wrong, really. I mean, he was disappointed.
It seems like what I'm remembering is there was some process to confirm funds before any contract was signed.
Yes, but Luis is only going by what that other realtor, because that's
What
the
I
other
mean by
realtor's
both
client.
sides, though. There's a way for
Well, I
Luis
mean,
to see it, and maybe he
Not
didn't
really.
do that.
No,
I can't remember.
You don't deal with each other's clients. So
Okay.
that other realtor, you just go, okay, Tom, those funds are there, right? You have vetted these people. You know they're good for this money. And he says, oh, yeah, we've already been to the mortgage company. We've got, paper signed, that they can do this. Mm-hmm. So maybe something happened. I would love to know exactly what happened on that.
Me too. See, that's what I'm saying.
Was it kind of a scam, or was it
It's unclear
did they
to
really
me.
have something happen that maybe, made them not able to do it? I wish they'd go ahead and tell why.
I swore there was some kind of confirmation that it wasn't the escrow account, because that's after you've,
Yeah, that's after you sign the contract.
Yeah, so there was
They didn't
some...
even get a contract.
Right. But see...
Well, they might have had a contract because he did say they were planning the closing. So they probably had a contract. I wonder how many days had passed.
That's
on
what
all
I'm
that.
saying. It's unclear to me.
Okay, we need to tweet
Yeah.
or write Luis and find out. Because I am really interested in knowing that.
Right. Because
It would tell us a lot more about it.
I feel like some of that falls on his shoulder for jumping the gun.
No. I don't think so because you can't control what the other realtor. You take for granted the other realtor is doing their job.
Well, of course.
And you go along and you say, "How's it going? How's it going
Yeah.
with this?" And they'll say, "Fine, everything's rocking along."
Well, it's so rare when that happens when funds don't come through anyways. You know, he probably doesn't see too many cases like that.
right.
So
But
why
hadn't
would
he-
you check if you could?
But hadn't he gotten another offer? There was a
He had
lower
325 and a 3.
Yeah, so I
3
mean
and
they're in the
325.
ballpark. I mean they need to just
Yeah.
hang tight. And if I'd been Luis, I would have kept the
You
listing.
know what was really nice to see was the
they were so
reaction
sweet.
from the
Oh.
Joneses. Yeah.
You know what? That's class people.
Yeah.
That is just class.
Great people.
Which is what I thought of them anyway. But they're just really good people.
I got to
You're right.
tweet Dr. Jones and let him know.
Yeah, we do. They are the sweetest people. You're right.
And anyways,
So it was good. Good episode.
Thought it was
and
so
Luis,
great.
You know, I want him to. You know, then they showed that he's disappointed. Then they showed this girl. Which did he say he had met her in a restaurant? She was like a hostess or
oh
something?
yeah, she's a manager of the restaurant.
Manager,
I thought,
yeah.
dang, she's
That was
lucky.
So weird though. That was just weird.
That was weird.
I didn't get that because
He's got some
he
mix-ups
looked
right
at
now.
her
You know?
real funny and then he says, "Come look at the view," and he starts dancing. I mean, it was really funky. I just didn't like it. I mean, if I had been in that girl's shoes, I'd be going, "Okay, we've got this film crew over here. What am I supposed to do?" And he's just looking at me with googly eyes, and it was strange.
Oh, I was
And then he says,
disappointed.
"Okay, I think you need to go home," and I'm going home, and it's like, okay, why did I come? This is stupid.
Jeez.
It was just kind of weird. So, Luis, yes, let's don't do that weird stuff anymore.
Yeah, Luis.
You can find you somebody, you know.
You know
You're
what?
going to find somebody awesome. Just hold tight. But
He's got some.
a little issues, I think, from that first girl.
I think that's it.
He does. He's got a few issues. I think that really hurt him, you know, back then. And I think now he may be worried that
Although no,
some people may like him for what he's doing now.
I get with that too, but I get his point when he says, "I have this spark. Things are working right now.
Yeah.
My career's going. I'm afraid to change anything
He's right.
because I may lose that. I may get distracted."
He's right. He will be.
And, you know, maybe he was looking for, maybe he jumped the gun. He had a thought where he said, "This is it. I need love in my life. You know, that's what I'm missing." And when she got there, it was like, well, no, I was wrong.
He's trying to make it happen, and it just doesn't do
That's-
that way. It happens when it happens.
That's right.
And you can't make that happen. So, and the poor girl looked like she was just
That
lost.
was kind of, I mean, what she,
I mean, I
that
felt
was
sorry for
weird.
her.
He
And
didn't
he
even,
kept looking at her, and I kept thinking, why are you looking at her like that? That's
he just
weird.
stared in her
It was
eyes.
just strange. I don't know. Strange part of the episode. Luis, just hang on.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, don't try to make things. Don't force things.
Yeah, he was trying.
But I understand what he says about, you know, he sees Frederick go home to Derek, and they're getting a baby, and then he
Yeah.
sees Amelia and Ryan, and it's somebody to go home to.
That's
And you
right.
have, there's pros and cons.
Well,
like
he
he's
shed-
talking about losing his, you know, drive and all that because he'd be distracted. But there is a good side to that too, because you do need another life. You do need a personal life because real estate's not going to last forever.
Well, he said last season, he said, I kind of want somebody to be able to share these experiences with
Yeah, and I understand that.
rather than do it all by yourself.
That's right. I understand that. But I think Ryan's got a good deal with Amelia because she's got her own career. She's an attorney. She's got her career.
Oh, she's perfect.
She is so cute to me.
Isn't she perfect?
I like the way she's very sweet, laid back, kind of a gentle personality. She's
Everything about her.
She's sweet. You like her?
Oh, I love her. I would marry her in an instant. She is
boy,
my
Ryan
type.
might have a run for his money, huh?
She is my type. Amelia.
Oh, she is cute though. Yeah.
Ryan and Frederick work together.
Yeah, they
That
did.
was cool. They're
They
doing
did.
a 5-unit building. Different looking building to me. Can you believe if I looked at that building, it would look like
Yeah.
if somebody said
From the outside.
If somebody said put a price on that from the outside,
Yeah.
I'd say, what is that? A old loft, you
Yeah,
know, from
exactly.
1965. But it's so amazing to me that those places inside they're great looking, but still, even with the inside, it's like, man, looking from the outside, that 5-unit building is worth $1.5 million each unit inside. So like,
Exactly.
a lot of money. It's like $10 million for the whole building,
Oh,
10 or
yeah.
12. So it's amazing, seeing those pictures of the building, and it's still amazing after watching this show for so long.
Was Frederick wanting Ryan to co-list the whole building with him, or just that one apartment?
The whole building.
The whole building.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were trying to decide what to do on the inside. Frederick wanted fur. Ryan wanted flooring that was different from Frederick, and so they got into a little competition about who was right and who was wrong. Talking to the who was it, designer or developer?
I think he was a designer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think his name was
I don't know.
I had his name here. Anyways, doesn't matter.
I got to see Frederick getting a haircut.
Yeah, that was cool.
His $275 haircut.
Yeah, I wish they did more of that. When he goes to shop for clothes, I wish they'd show
Well,
that.
that's interesting.
Haircut.
Okay, tweet.
Oh boy,
Offer that. So we need to see him out doing some shopping.
that was cool. Oh, you know what I hated last night?
What?
I didn't like the Louise thing. I'm looking through the pictures now. That was weird.
It was just really. I kept waiting for something to. He was looking at her like he was fixing to chop her head off.
Yeah, it was weird.
Strange.
He wasn't even in the moment. He was thinking about
wasn't.
something else.
That was really odd. Yeah, that was odd. I think I would have left that out of the episode.
Poor girl was like, "What am I doing here?"
I know. And when he said go home, it was like, okay.
Okay,
I will.
What I hated more than that uncomfortable situation was this stupid Russian guy.
I don't even understand that.
It's like they
Ryan,
planted
please
this
walk
guy.
off.
It's
Walk
like they
off.
told this guy to be as crazy as you
Oh,
can for the
that
TV
was
show. Make it
ridiculous.
as miserable as you can.
No,
They
it was
brought
not
he
worth
brought all these girls to open
ridiculous.
to showings, and
Oh, it was awful. And drinks. He was
Drinks.
bringing liquor in there, and you have to take shots with me, Ryan, if you're going to do this. I'd
mean,
say,
come on.
go find you somebody else.
it's like
That's
the
just not-
producers went to the guy and were
That's
like,
horrible.
I mean, maybe it was real, maybe the guy was
I don't
just
know, but I wouldn't have put up with that.
trying to
That
get
was
attention for his liquor that he sells.
awful. Maybe
But
so.
I
Hey,
don't know.
did you see that?
Hated that.
Frederick wrote a book?
Yeah, that book is good. I'm gonna go pick it up.
Oh, are you?
It's called The Cell.
Could I borrow it when you get through?
No. That's mine. That's a good book. I can't wait. I think I've seen some quotes from Twitter.
Oh, have you?
Frederick is a salesman. He's a modern salesman.
He
He's
is.
great at it. I love his style. It's so non-traditional, but so effective. I think doing these things like on Instagram and Twitter, where he takes a quote and from the book and does a hashtag the cell, so that when you click hashtag the cell, it brings up all the quotes that he's posted from the book. You can find them all in one place. And you get a sneak. It's like, instead of going to the bookstore like you used to and going to read in the back of the book, you can find it on Instagram or Twitter. And every day you see a quote from him, the hashtag to sell, that's inspirational or motivational or whatever, something you find
They're
interesting.
in the book.
Yeah, from the book.
Okay.
And every day you see it, unlike you going to the bookstore
Wow.
one day and, seeing it one day or whatever, or reading an excerpt online. You're not going back to read the same thing you've already read.
That's a good
So
promotion.
it's so good. It's great marketing, and it's what Mac Media does a little bit. And I think it's good. I think it's the modern way of marketing. It's subtle, but it's very effective. It's almost like hidden marketing. And
Yeah, he is.
and he does the same thing. Like he's got a picture of his dogs. Wish you could see this. He's got
With the glasses?
He's got a bunch of different animals and babies touching or holding or reading his book.
Oh.
And do you see that there?
That's cool.
And anyways, he just does little crazy things like that, but it makes you laugh, and it reminds you that he's selling this book without running banner advertising on Facebook or something. You know what I mean?
Well, he's using his
It's all product
notoriety with the show too.
Yeah.
Doing some of that, but
Well, it's all product placement. I think it's
Yeah,
good. Anyways,
yeah.
he's made me want to go get the book. I
yeah.
think it's a
Now
good
all they
book.
need to do is go to show a house, and somebody's sitting down reading the book as they're waiting on him.
That's right. That's right. He'll probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else happened? Let me go through these one more
That was
time.
about it. And then the ending was about Amelia donating the eggs, and Ryan. We saw a preview.
Yeah,
of-
that was my favorite part.
And Ryan
when-
goes, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
Which I understand. That's
Yeah.
kind of I don't know.
They went to dinner. I like Ryan. If the Russian thing was real, I'm glad Ryan said, "Okay, this is enough.
Oh, I
I'm
hope
gonna have
so.
to talk
I
to
was
this
getting
guy."
tired of it myself.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
It's very disrespectful. I
felt
don't
like
care how
I was-
much money these people have. I call them trash with cash, but
Watching the Housewives.
yeah, I don't care for that. I was really glad. I'm like you when Ryan finally stood up and said, "Okay, forget it.
Yeah.
This ain't worth it."
That was good.
And I don't know. I'm like him. I wonder if the guy's even going to buy anything.
Yeah.
There was something wrong with everything. I want to be higher up. I want to be whatever. And then let's go have a drink. I mean, he wasn't even serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of look at it that way.
I know. But that was annoying, just that whole thing.
Yeah.
I like Frederick's style. Last night they were in bed talking about something, he and Derek, and his glasses look good. Like, it keeps his hair in good shape, and he's just cool. He's got a confidence about him. And I read something online about his book. Barbara Corcoran wrote. Isn't that right?
Uh-huh.
She wrote the forward.
Yeah.
Or I can't know. It was a forward, not the dedication.
Forward is normally what it is.
And she said, we met on this hotel, and he was not even in the real estate business. I didn't even know who he was, but just the way we were on top of the hotel, and near the swimming pool, I think she said, when I saw him. We'd never met, never talked or anything. And she said, I just looked across the pool to this guy I didn't know, but she said, for some reason, he looked nice, he was in good shape, he was confident. She said, for some reason, my gut just told me this guy was going to be successful or something one day. And she said, we ended up talking to each other that night. And she said, then I really knew that he knew what he was doing, had a plan. It's the way he carries himself. And I thought he carried himself well in the episode last night. Not too arrogant, but confident, right? And I thought that was cool, so I was glad to see it.
That's a nice recommendation.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed about the guys that's interesting. For the younger, everybody's used to phones. Everybody's used to doing all that. These guys wear watches.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Because I know some of the younger people don't wear watches anymore because they have their phones and they take their time, off their phones, or use them as a clock. But I noticed these guys always have a watch on. That's unusual.
Yeah, it's a statement,
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You mean it's sort of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily for time.
No, it's not at all.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I'm sure they use it for that because it's better than pulling your phone out of your pocket. But yeah, they probably use it more as a I know what I'm doing type thing than anything,
Yeah.
Because they're big, they're nice, fancy watches.
Oh, they are.
When you see that, you think, okay, well.
I'm waiting for some of the shows to start doing the product placement, like wearing Rolexes or wearing, and people saying, what kind of watch was that? Or a Pepsi can being predominantly placed. Mm-hmm. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't get down to that level.
I don't think we probably won't see much changing from the format it is now.
I bet Luis would be a really sweet person to be with. He's very romantic. He likes to dance.
He questions himself a lot. I think he struggles with some self-doubt.
Yeah, I think he does too, but he's sweet. I wish I could go talk to him one-on-one. He's so sweet.
Well, that's nice to say.
Yeah, he's just a sweet guy. I may tweet him.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're bored and don't have anything to do, for anybody listening, go and look up these guys' Instagram accounts. It's unbelievable. Pictures you'll see, the things they do. It's so out of the ordinary, and it's interesting to get a glimpse into that life a little bit. And go and do that. Look them up on Instagram. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that was all that we covered. Luis is restructuring, trying to get more help, for next time.
Yeah.
I think and I think that makes sense. He's kind of outgrown what he's got. He's moving up, and you've got to have people to help you as you move up, or you can't get more sales.
The first thing is the first time he's experiencing being able to scale the business.
Right.
And that's what happens. You get to a point where you're overwhelmed, and you say, okay, now I can hire somebody. We can scale it. I can take more properties on, make more money, pay more people. And that's how Frederick and Ryan have done it.
That's right.
I think it's funny watching Frederick and Ryan because they're more seasoned. They've been in it. They have been doing it for a longer period of time. and Luis drove up in the big fancy car a couple episodes ago, and Ryan and Frederick looked at each other and said, "We've kind of outgrown that stage, you know. Been there,
through that too.
Been there, done that. You know. Now I'm on to a family, and it's like Luis is a little behind them. You know, now he's starting to scale his business, and then he'll get a family, and then do the same things they've done.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting watching.
Yeah.
You know, because he's going to end up where Frederick and Ryan are.
Oh, he will.
You know.
Especially with the show.
Same number of staff.
Sure.
He'll have a driver. You know, now he drives himself. He'll have a driver. You know, it's that kind of thing. And that'll be interesting to see as he kind of grows. Because they're keeping Luis on the show. He's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
So
I like him.
We'll be seeing more of him.
It's going to be fun to see the changes he's going to have. You know, in his personal life and his professional. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be nice.
All right. Well, that's it for us, I think, unless you want to say anything else.
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, this has been the Mac Media Show. Me and Ree are the two that review for you. And until next week, I hope you have a good one. And we'll see you then.
Have a good week.